Good morning, everyone. It's a really bright early morning, isn't it? All right. So, to start out, what is the worst thing to talk to a high schooler about when they're first getting out? It is the question of what are you going to do with your life? It is a very stressful question, and everybody's trying to figure out where are they going. So, the great thing about this first semester is we got to figure out what we want to do. So, the first thing we started doing was research about ourselves. So I am a go-getter. I like talking to people. I like making things work, and I love storytelling. So I had three paths that I really wanted to explore. So the first thing that I wanted to do was really go into more project management because I wanted to gain skills there so I can move into the next phase, which is I want to eventually look at becoming a chief executive. So I have those three different paths, and I'm just trying to figure out which one I want to go along to get there. For this semester, I wanted to focus on project management, so that was what my capstone was on. So these are my semester goals. I have 6 ones, my OKR, which is objective key results. That was the apprenticeship with 1 to 2 small projects overseen before graduation. I hit that goal and I surpassed it too. So the first KPI was 1 to 2 research hours per week, which I did through LinkedIn Learning, I did through talking to people, I did through just Googling things in general. The next thing that I did was I wanted to build documentation so that I'd have a robust portfolio by the end of this. I wanted to be able to show everybody that I knew what I was doing and I had plenty of projects to back that up. The KPI 3 was informational interviews. My goal was 8. I didn't get 8, but my goal was 10. I got 8. And I'm continuing to do that over the summer, so I've got them scheduled out for a little ways as well. That's one that I wanted to focus on a lot this semester. KPI 4 was develop communication, so I did that through our class business communication and then also through a personal rubric that I made for myself so I could grade myself after different communication pieces. For KPI 5, it was finding an apprenticeship opportunity, which I also did. I've got a in-house apprenticeship here. And then for 6, it's just a biweekly check-in to make sure that I'm staying on task and that I'm completing everything as I go through. So for the interviews, I had 5 key takeaways, and that was after talking with a lot of project managers, they had one of the big things that they said was communication was such a big piece. So talking with people, making sure that everybody's clear on what they're doing. Over communication, it's kind of hard to over communicate. So what I did when I going to my projects was I set up multiple meetings. I talked with people multiple times to make sure that everybody knew what was going forward and that they knew what to expect from me as well. Adaptability was huge because crazy things just come up and you need to adapt. Sometimes one meeting goes long and then you need to focus on another thing. So what is the most important thing to focus on in any given moment and being able to be flexible and adapt to that. For problem solving, that was things come up in the moment and you're like, oh, I gotta change my direction now. Well, what's your plan B? For me, that was huge also trying to come up with plan B or plan C before problems even came up. So being able to have that foresight of what might go wrong and being able to say, okay, this is how we're going to course direct if that happens. Transparency was being upfront about the progress of things to make sure that the project stays on track. If a project suddenly just stops, that's not really a good thing. What the end goal is to make sure you get through it. So whatever you have to do to get through it is probably a lot of talking with people, honest communication. Hey, what's going on? I haven't been able to meet this deadline, so how can we pivot and make sure that this happens? And it's talking with people and being able to be open and honest with your team. And then also people skills, which is interpersonal understanding for leading and building a safe environment for questions, and also understanding how other people work and being able to say, hey, you are a people person, so I'll be a little more people-y with you, or you are more detailed, so I'll give you more details on this. So being able to see what other people are wanting and needing. So this is my development plan moving forward. I want to gain experience through the apprenticeship that I am now in. And then also through continuing to interview people, and then also being interviewed myself. So I want to continue talking with people and gaining more knowledge of what other project managers are looking for and what their experiences and their role is. I also want to gain more experience through storytelling and being a leader, being that servant leader. And also storytelling is so huge because that's how we all talk. We all talk through stories. That's how it's engaging, and that's what all of us remember. That's what I remember. So I want to be a better storyteller. And then also through documentation, like I said, I want to have a very clear and robust portfolio. So it's evident that I know what I know and that I can use that experience moving forward. I don't want to just be able to say, hey, I know how to do this thing. I want to be able to prove that I know how to do it. And then also a resume, which is something that was amazing with Lydia's class, being able to go through and really outline what have you done with your work and why is it important for the job you're going into. So that's what I want to move forward over the summer and into the next semester. My apprenticeship goals is part of my apprenticeship was I chose project management software for VI. And what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to go through building out the ClickUp training course for everyone. So I'm going to be onboarding our company. And then I'm going to be building the SOPs, which is standard operating procedures. So how actually ClickUp will be used. I'm going to be building that out so it's easier to grow with. And then also putting the tasks and projects input into the system so it's easy to just get in there and start getting things done. I'm going to be doing this 5 times over this next summer because we're doing this for the vertical ecosystem. So that's Vertical Life, Vertical Immersive, Vertical Studios, Vertical Wealth, and then Ashenoke Wedding. And 6 months from now, I'm going to be accomplished. I'm going to have ClickUp fully set up, and it's going to be scalable, and it's going to be able to grow with Vertical. So whatever it's needed forward, that's what it's going to be able to do for this company. I'm going to have a portfolio that is still actively growing, and I'll be able to be catching problems before they start having that foresight moving forward. And I will be leading teams and projects with full confidence. And in fact, in 6 months, I will probably be training my replacement as a project manager here, and laying the foundation for that next person from the climbers that will be able to set them up for success moving forward as well. So if anybody has any questions, now would be the time to do so. I have time for like a couple.
Great. How did you decide on ClickUp?
Yeah, so ClickUp was a long research process. I'll go into that a little bit more on my capstone 3, but that was a lot of talking with the admin here and then really finding out more about what the different project management softwares actually offered and then finding the one that precisely met our needs.
So are you first, second, or third year?
Yeah, this is my first year. This is second semester. Yeah. It's been a fast-growing process.
You said that there's like 3 options that you were going towards, so why did you choose project management versus over communications or sales?
It's a great question. Really, I liked all of them, and through this semester I've been in a little bit of everything. I'm a student ambassador, so I'll go to different schools, and that's sales. And then I'm also on the committee Marcom, which is communications. But project management was something that after talking with different project managers through this informational interviews process, I got really intrigued, and I really just wanted to build that out more. I felt like that was something that would be useful anywhere I could go. So that's why I focused on project management this time. All right, thank you so much. Just to close, this is the plan that we went over. That is what I used to get where I am today. And I am so thankful for Vertical for giving me a plan moving forward as well. That's a big part of this semester, being able to know where you are and where you're going. And I'm so thankful that I've been able to have the understanding and experience to make that plan myself. I'm so thankful for the work that I've been able to do here, and I'm excited to keep going. Okay, so I am again Chaya Gammon. My project was project management, and this was a really fun project for me. It started as a capstone project and it has turned into an in-house apprenticeship. So it's something that I'm going to be continuing to do over this next semester as well. So just a really quick agenda. We're going to go over the OKRs, which is objective and key results. Then we're going to go through my contributions, challenges, outcomes, and then final takeaways. So objective and key results was, my goal was 1 to 2 small projects overseeing, right? And I got 3 small projects and 1 significantly bigger one. So one of them, so the 3 small projects was, I was able to oversee 3 student visit days and then 1 champion day. I was going to shadow Mr. Wade, and then he was going to help me with the second student visit day, and then the champion day was going to be all mine. And then the other thing that I was able to be a part of was, I was going to choose research and then choose a project management software for Vertical Life. So for the Vertical Life ecosystem, Vertical Life is kind of the umbrella company. And then we have Vertical Wealth, which is like a kingdom-based financial coaching. Vertical Studios, which they help with marketing for other companies. Vertical Immersive is this amazing thing that we're here today for. And then, of course, Ashen Oak Wedding, which is a wedding venue for people to come in. It's a beautiful barn. If you're planning a wedding, I would suggest taking a look at that. Okay, my contributions for the event side was, I shadowed 1 student visit day, and then I was able to be a part of a second one. Both of those I was supposed to get 90% satisfaction, and I'll kind of take a look at that a little bit later on with the rubric that I built out for that. A funny thing that happened before I even got into actually doing these visit days was, I got a text from Mr. Wade, and he had sent me all these documents for student visit day, and he said, I'm gonna be sick, so you get to take this over. This is before I even got into this. And so I was like, okay, all right then. And so I contacted the events team, which they are in charge of actually building everything out and putting the events together. The project manager is just there to make sure that they have all the resources that they need, and keep making sure that the tasks are coming through on time. So I immediately called them and I was like, hey guys, you need to walk me through what's going on tomorrow. So we had a meeting and we talked through everything. We went through any problems that they were having and we figured out solutions, and also came through with ideas for the next day, making sure things went smoothly, going over our bases and really fleshing out what the next day was going to be. So that's something that impacted me. This was not technically a part of this project. This is a preliminary thing, but that's something that impacted me on, okay, this is how I want to, if something comes up, that's how I want to handle situations. Immediately talking to the team and being like, okay guys, let's figure out the way forward and make this clear for everyone. And then for the software, this was the bigger project that I really thoroughly enjoyed. Coming to VI, I didn't know what I wanted to do. And I also didn't really know softwares. And I could get around on like messages, like text messages. Coming here, they said, hey, one of the things that we want you to do is we want you to get experience by researching project management software, because we don't have one currently. So we want you to select that. And I was like, okay guys. And so what I did was, first thing, I talked to all the admin and I said, hey, what do you guys really need in the software? Give me your top 3. And so I got this whole list from everyone of the things they wanted, and I feverishly looked up what those meant, and made a criteria list of what actually they were needing. And from that, I got all these other software. I found like 10 different software options that I liked the best. And I judged them all for this criteria list. And then I found 5 that actually had the functions that we were looking for. And from those 5, I went into their plans. Each one has specific pricing plans and functions. And there's always like, I don't know, 5 or so different plans. So I went through each of those softwares with all of their plans, and I I judged them off of this criteria list, and I kept going until I found a plan that I liked with a software that was going to be good for our company. And so that researching phase really stumped me for a while because I was like, I don't know where to start. So that was something that I talked with my project mentor, Caitlin, and she really helped me with talking with people, making sure I had a plan of who to talk to, also where to go. I used YouTube, I used Google, I did a lot of AI. I talked to, in my informational interviews, when I talked to people, I said, hey, what system do you guys use? And why do you like it? Do you not like it? And so I talked with a lot of people and did a lot of research on the front end so that we can find the right thing and it will go smoother in the back end. So some challenges for me was on the event side was taking over projects midway. One of the projects that I took over was the Champions Day, which was going to be all me. I found right around at the end that there were some little details that snowballed, and we had no idea that there were going to be issues at the end. And so one of the things that I needed to do at the beginning was really talk to more people and make sure I checked off all the boxes, because we had a couple of different tasks lists, and I started at the time, I started on the task list that was current, and I should have started at the very beginning, even if it was previous than what we needed to be on right now. So moving forward, when I go into projects, I know that I'm going to start at the very beginning and verify for myself that every single thing is checked, that I know everything is done. So by the time that we get there, it's just weird circumstance that comes up, and I can deal with little problems like that. And then for the project management software, that was a lot of lack of experience, not knowing what I don't know. What came into play for me was really talking with my project mentor and other people as well, and asking questions, saying, hey, can you give me advice on this? I don't really know what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm stumbling a little bit, don't have a clear way forward. I've got a lot of energy for it, but I don't know my clear way forward. And so talking with people and not letting myself worry myself silly over details was really the big thing for me. So moving forward, clarity is huge. So this is the rubric that I gave the team after our student visit day. My goal was to get a 90% satisfaction rate. And based off of this, I didn't get a 90%, but I got an 88%. Got pretty darn close. So moving forward, this has been super helpful for me knowing what I do well and where I can improve and focusing in on what I'm actually doing to be the best leader possible. And the outcomes for the software is we chose ClickUp. Moving into my apprenticeship going forward, I'm going to be, like I said, building out the training for everyone and building out the SOPs and actually building the space, ClickUp being a place where we can all collaborate in one area. So before we might have Excel for one thing, we might have Plaky for another, we might have Clockify for a third thing. We have a bunch of different small softwares, but ClickUp's going to be everything in one place. And for anything that it doesn't quite do, there's integrations for it. So it's going to be everything in one unified place, and we're going to be super organized moving forward. So final takeaways for me was relationally, communication is huge. Talking with people and making sure that everybody understands what actually is going on and we're all clear on the process. Also for me, knowing that everybody else is on the same page as well. So being able to communicate well with also different personalities, that was huge. Professionally, documentation is huge. Project management, something that I think Lucas brought up was it's probably frustrating to update Plaky a lot, but it's so helpful on the back end because now I know all these things are checked off and we're moving forward at a good rate. So being able to have documentation and everything in one place and it's all clear and defined is huge. And then also personally for me, and also I think for everyone here, is I found myself a whole lot capable than I gave myself credit for. When I didn't know a lot, but I'm willing to work hard and I'm willing to ask the questions and not know the answers, but still try. And that's what I found was huge for me, that I'm a whole lot more capable than I thought I was. So just in kind of closing, I would like to brag on the school and say, how many 20-year-olds do you know that has done something like this? I have researched and selected software and will be building out and watching it come to fruition and creating a training program for it. And so I have absolutely loved this project, and I am so thankful for Vertical for putting me up to the challenge, even though I wasn't certain I could do it myself. So thank you so much for listening to my presentation and listening to me brag about it.